afternoon. Today, we are gonna watch a Bellular News video. I just had to do a fun little accent. I had to. We're watching Bellular News. And we're talking about the YouTube and the algorithm. I'm not saying this in a way to make fun of. I am legit more Irish and Scottish than anything else. So those are my top two genetic things. So it's like going home to my roots. But we're gonna listen to this really quick. I don't know exactly what's happened with this YouTube stuff. I'm learning about this right now with this video. But something happened a day ago. Creators were right to panic. I kind of need to look at this because, well, do I need to dual upload here and Rumble? Do I need to look at alternative sources or alternative points of upload? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. I may start doing a dual upload here and over on the Rumble platform, just so that if something happens here, my backlog is over there as well, so that if something happens where YouTube hamstrings creators, stuff can be over there. So let's get started.
You know that whole situation with YouTube views? Well, now we've got a bit of a resolution to it, as well as a bunch of things that are going to impact your experience.
So
directly.
That's what it's about.
So YouTube themselves is not to blame for the view count thing, at least not entirely, because the truth is that something did change, and thanks to investigative coders, we actually know exactly what happened to all of those views. But it's not the end of the story, because we need to talk about YouTube's ecosystem. It is changing, and there is a climate of pressure that is, making creators think that a lot of these AI experiments are going to be dangerous to their livelihood. Goddamn, YouTube recently had an event where they announced so many features that kind of just look like shitty AI slop. Ever look at the greats in YouTube
AI
and wonder,
stuff.
how do they get
AI
this?
stuff. AI should never have been allowed to be creative in that way. I don't make my thumbnails. I'm hand making myself. I just want to have that touch and control of it. But I'm looking for. I thought that YouTube was supposed to remove AI content for, those AI generated stories from Reddit and stuff like that. Those aren't real. All those are AI created. It's all garbage. It's filling up the shorts feed. I also am very much looking forward to, I think, another policy that they had put in place or announced or discussed in some way was those split screen things were no longer going to count. You have to actually do something for the content. You can't just steal the other content and then put a second video with it and then call it good. So, me actually commentating on it and reacting to things is fair use. I'm actually trying to contribute to it. I'm actually trying to put my own personal opinion in with it, even if it's something I agree with. I don't 100% agree with anything. So, or at least I haven't come across anything I 100% agree with. But yeah, I was hoping that YouTube was going to make stuff better for people who are actually creating content by getting a crackdown on AI. But if what he's saying is true, and they're just offering their own features around AI, then it sounds like they want to get rid of AI that you're using externally and instead make it so that it's only their internal AI, but we'll find out for sure.
Silky transitions, or that cinematic B-roll. While today's sponsor, Storyblocks, is a huge part of the equation, and it's a bit of kit that I wish I had years ago. So here's what it actually is. Unlimited access to stock video, music, sound effects, and, this bit's the kicker, After Effects templates, which will let you punch way above your weight. These are things like smooth map animations, data visualizations, clean lower thirds, and of course they're templates you can customize to your own needs. It's one subscription that lets you download anything that you need. So just think about those shots that you wish you had.
Cool, but
aerial cityscapes, inside a data center,
I don't know if I
historical
need
footage,
that.
abstract tech visualizations, stuff that could cost you thousands to shoot or license traditionally. And with Storyblocks, you search, you download in 4K,
Good Lord, I'm tired
and
today.
suddenly you'll have your explainer video with production value that massively punches above your weight. And their licensing is completely clear for YouTube as well. That means no copyright strikes, no demonetization surprises. It's a tool we've used before, and I know, especially with the documentary style content.
I mean,
would
YouTube
love
allows
to
people
make, like, the life and times of Bobby Kotick.
to copyright strike
be
stuff
using
that
it.
they don't actually own
So
the
whether you're
rights
just
to.
starting out or you're trying to level up your production, check out storyblocks.com.
YouTube really needs to get their trademark stuff.
I'll begin in the views thing, though.
Their
So
strike
YouTube gave an
system
update on the
improved.
situation a few days ago. There's a link in the description, and just like we suggested, restricted was not the sole culprit here. Now, they confirmed no meaningful change in the population of the restricted mode recently, and that it's a separate feature from the age protection rules. But here's the key part. They are, quote, not using AI to automatically enable restricted mode for viewers. And according to YouTube, all their systems are working correctly, and they weren't trying to gaslight everyone. But they did suggest that the problem could be multifaceted. They said they couldn't explain the view count drop with one answer. So, what could it be? There have been theories, maybe a return to baseline performance, maybe back to school, which I think a lot of us would
seasonal viewing habits. I mean, seasonal viewing habits, whenever I was in school, the way that actually manifested was I just shifted my time of day of viewing videos. So, like, whenever I was in high school, that was the early days of YouTube. I would watch my stuff after school at home. Whenever I went to college, where I would have watched it at 9 a.m. when it was first released, say I had a class from 9 to 10, I would just watch it at 10:30 once I get back to my dorm room. It didn't reduce the amount of views, it just changed what time of day I viewed it. So with that, I don't really believe the seasonal viewing habits part is accurate.
Maybe it's a better competition between creators. It could be those, but various creators have already debunked these things to various...
And then competition? All it's ever changed if I start watching, so like I used to have way fewer people that I was subscribed to. I think my private, like my personal old YouTube account, I'm subscribed to 130 accounts now. It grows. Obviously not all those content creators are still uploading. For example, Danger Dolan doesn't upload anything. He fell off. He disappeared. He's gone. Frankie on PC uploads rarely now. There's a lot of creators that create way fewer videos. But those who do create regularly, as long as I'm not burned out on the content, I will just watch it in whatever order makes sense. Whenever I find a new YouTube channel that I'm liking, I follow Fat Electrician. That's one channel I follow. I watched all of his content for a good period, but because I had to catch up on his backlog specifically. But the key is, I would, if someone released a new video, Smugalana. She releases videos, so every morning whenever I'm driving to work, I will pop on her video that was released most recently. I'll listen to it while I drive instead of listening to the radio, and that's consistent. If her afternoon video pops up while I was in the middle of something, I would just be like, all right, this next video, I'm going to go back to Alana's. I'm going to watch it, and then I'll come back to Fat Electrician and watch his stuff and continue through his backlog. I don't completely cut out creators just because I'm watching other creators. The only reason I stop watching it is if the content is just something I'm burned out on. So, yeah, I guess other people may have more limited time. I have the ability to listen to things while I work because my industry is computers. So, with that, I'm able to let stuff play in my ears while I work on whatever it is. You know, while I'm inputting numbers, while I'm changing things, I'm able to do that.
Degrees as being universal problems, but YouTube suggested something else, ad blocking software, that might be impacting view reporting accuracy. Now, importantly, they framed this very specifically, that this is not a change in how YouTube counts views. No, it seems the problem is actually somewhere else. Now, here's the thing, YouTube still counts views that they can see. But as it turns out, many of your views have been invisible to them, and even right now are invisible to them, even if you are watching this video. Yes, you could be watching my face, thinking that you are viewing a thing on YouTube, and that view would be counted. But actually, there's a massive chance it isn't. So, one day after YouTube's post...
Alright, I'm just going to say this. It should be, if video plays longer than 10 seconds, count as view. That should be all it is to it. As long as the computer plays something for longer than 10 seconds, it should count as a view. The end. Don't overcomplicate things. That's the thing. Keep it simple, stupid. It has been a phrase for a reason for ages. I don't know when the original phrase was used, but keep it simple has always been applicable in every industry in every way.
YouTuber Theo Joe took them at their word. If the problem wasn't YouTube's fault, then it must be somewhere else. And that triggered a memory. You see, he had once blocked some YouTube telemetry URLs that were...
One time a while back, I had blocked some YouTube telemetry URL. I didn't know why until later, but after that point, YouTube kept recommending me videos I had already watched, as if I never viewed it. What if everyone switching to MV3 ad blockers is doing something similar? They might have to block ads in a different manner, which is literally blocking the browser sending playback data. That could be. Because if you don't send the playback data, but you allow the browser to download the data packets, it would then allow you to no longer have the trigger get triggered, I'm guessing in JavaScript, that would actually trigger those preloaded ads at whatever the timestamps are. So that could be.
Tracking user activities. The result? He kept getting recommended a video, as if he had never watched it. Then some digging found more evidence. Ad blockers like uBlock Origin work through a block list of URLs, and that block list got updated with text blocking youtube.com/api/stats/ATR. Now, when do you think
that's
this
interesting
was merged into the adblock extensions? August 12th. Right when the problem was first noticed. So
wow.
Give yourself a gold star if you guessed that one
so
right.
The ad
As
blockers.
Theo Joe put it, this kind of explains.
So now we know the ad blocker users are the reason for the dip, while the YouTube count. Well, at least assuming that this is correct, we're gonna find out through the rest of this video. There's still 12 minutes left, 13 minutes left, 13 minutes left on the nose actually. We still have that much time left, but at least currently that makes sense for if you're not sending data back, YouTube's not counting it. But you shouldn't, in my opinion, you shouldn't need that data back for YouTube to know. Did you click on this? Yes. Set a timer in the JavaScript that says after timer on this reaches 10 seconds, give view count +1. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but, you know, it's whatever.
Everything, including a lot of the things that I put forward in my initial coverage, that the desktop views were the only ones being impacted, that RPMs were staying the same, of course, because the disappearing views came from users with adblock, and that relative like ratios were going up because interaction tracking was still working. Others validate this theory.
Yep.
Jeff Geerling, another YouTuber, dug into the same evidence, and he noticed that this URL was added and then removed from the block list back in 2021. Meanwhile, Scratchy, the original
back in
dev who added the
2021
URL, created a guide for manual overrides. Some people won't want this tracker for privacy reasons, but yeah, the impact on creators did have everyone spooked, and justifiably so. Look, this doesn't appear to be
I mean,
YouTube.
that's a justifiable reason to be worried, because if you are a YouTube creator who's doing it for your job, then that's definitely something. Like, I don't think I'll ever be purely a YouTube creator, even if this popped off. What I would do is, this would have to be enough income that I could do this for a living, but then I would also have a secondary thing that would be a business I ran, so that even if YouTube's stuff dropped away to zero, my business side or whatever is still able to make it where I'm able to afford my house and my food for my family. So that's why I'm doing this part-time. I'm doing my work full-time, 50 hours a week, and then I'm doing this part-time for an hour or two each day at night.
fault. That's kind of why we're talking about it today in this way.
With the exception of my new lunch break
look, I left the
videos.
door open for an answer because I had a bunch of theories, and ultimately I did think it was adblock related, but we didn't just completely know yet. And this brings up a core tension. We're dealing with an audience avoiding advertisements, and I get it. They're annoying. Now, the knock-on effect on views, well, that is something that everyone needs to factor into sponsor conversations. Because now sponsors will be getting loads of views that YouTube can't track. And that's a little bit of a problem because, well, if it's a burnt-in sponsor, people will be seeing that. So actually, this informational asymmetry is something that plays into the hands of sponsors and definitely plays against creators. But there's a reason, right? There's a reason why creators immediately feared the worst when YouTube started acting weird. Because it's,
ads. Aluminum-free deodorant. I switched to that recently because I
just a sec,
don't
I'm
want
gonna
aluminum
speak with
all over
a
me.
different accent. And just between you and me, I don't really know how.
not even the first time they've been weird this year. My frustrations with YouTube have just been kind of bubbling up over the last while. And during the summer, we were working on a video that had the working title, How YouTube Broke Our Channel, and Why You Might Not Have Noticed. And that was actually months before the view count problem started, and we were writing it because we got huge amounts of complaints from loads of videos of AI-generated auto-dubbing that was happening for non-English speaking
auto-dubbing. Yeah, they need to improve those subtitles that get done. I mean, I know that he's talking about auto-dubbing, but the subtitles, I know all of you guys have seen videos where it's a short or a full-length video, but the subtitles are just completely wrong, and it's wild how bad they are. They can turn a single word into two words or two words into a single word and completely change the context of the sentence to either something that makes it completely different or something that just makes no sense at all. But either way, it's wild what they can do.
Or should I say, viewers with
it's bad,
language
bad wild, not good
English,
wild.
Even if they would prefer to listen to someone who speaks English speaking in English versus a robo-dub. Very bizarre thing. And as it turned out, we had been opted in.
YouTube also is putting themselves in a very tricky spot with this. By committing any sort of edit or change to content, any sort of edit or change, they may be removing themselves completely from the Section 230 protections that say you are not a editor or a publisher, you are just a forum where people can post things. Because that's what Section 230 actually is the company is protected because of the fact that they are not seen as a publisher or an editor. And if there is an issue, if I were to say something that was illegal or defamatory, that person has to sue me. They cannot sue YouTube. And that's the whole point of Section 230. It was supposed to allow you to remove things like pornography and things that are inappropriate, not things you disagree with. That's the difference between why Section 230 was created and how it's being used right now. Because YouTube and places like that are removing content that they disagree with, which makes them an editor and or publisher, while continuing to say, no, we've got Section 230, we can't be held liable for stuff. It's like, no, once you started becoming an editor and publisher, you actually can be held liable. Because now you actually are considered a part of the process because you're removing these other things.
To YouTube system
that aren't pornography. They're difference of opinion things. Because pornography has always been removable because it is considered, what's the wording that they use? It's something that basically means an unacceptable public thing.
Automatically. We then had to manually deactivate it for multiple videos before we were then able to fully deactivate it. Of course, meanwhile, a lot of viewers probably thought that we were being cheap and that we didn't give a shit about quality, which is annoying, and it shakes our faith that YouTube actually understands things.
YouTube should never, no website should ever implement any change that you immediately get put into. It should have a period where you are opting into it that says, hey, try this out. It's a new feature. You can opt into it. And then after 3 to 6 months, once you've made that product really, really, really good, at that point you send all the people that aren't using it, that hadn't opted in, you can send them something that says, hey, on this date we're starting this, but we're going to put the setting out right now that says, I want to opt out of it once it starts. And then you can let people have it where there's that overlap that, oh, I'm opted into it. I'm trying out this new technology. Okay, now it's going to be required / just automatically pushed out. I'm going to opt out of it because I don't want to use that feature. That would be the best system for all websites, in my opinion.
From our perspective, you can see how some random fucking product manager who
AI
wants to
Yeti
hit their
and AI Downsy
OKR
and,
for the quarter is going to see a feature
AI
like
Bigfoot.
auto dubbing and think,
Those
oh wow,
three are
what
the
a global
best
good.
AI
it's just
videos
like
and the only ones I
Babelfish or
watch
the
regularly.
translator from Star Trek. No, people watch YouTube because they want to hear people's authentic voice.
Yep. My authentic voice is this rather accent neutral. I kind of have a little bit of a, not drawl, but like my S's kind of are soft in whatever. I don't have an accent in basically any way, as long as I'm not applying it myself, like I did at the start of this video. Funny how that comes up, but you need to know that my voice is my voice. And in all honesty, I despise the fact that it's ever been permitted that AI could learn people's vocal mannerisms and replicate it. That never should have been legalized in any way, because that allows for corruption of legal stuff. Because what if someone created an AI phone call of me threatening someone and then sent that AI phone call to the police saying that I was threatening them? I could be arrested for threatening someone that I've literally never even talked to. And that's the scary part about AI. And pretty soon you're going to have it where court cases, you can't have video or audio evidence, because it's just going to be, Your Honor, that was AI, and there's going to be no way to prove it. That's the biggest reason why, even as a tech person, AI has been a huge mistake and never should have been permitted.
Dub. But it gets worse, because that's just what you can see. Behind the scenes, there is an awful use of AI everywhere. I fully believe AI can be used.
Sorry, what was that?
Use of AI.
Ask Studio experiment. How can Ask Studio help me? Summarize comments, suggest new video ideas. I'm sorry, no. If you need AI to suggest a new video idea to you, you don't deserve to be in this space. I'm picking out content and topics myself for these videos. Whether they're good or bad, that's on me. And AI should not be... If you need AI... Y'all, for real, I'm putting on my old man britches right now. Do it yourself. Learn to create yourself. Learn to do things yourself. Learn to problem solve yourself. Learn to look at algorithmic stuff and trends yourself. Teach yourself. There's too many kids that if the AI ChatGPT system is down, can't make spaghetti. I don't know if it's actually spaghetti, but my point is things that are common and normal to use can't be done. Y'all won't even go to a cooking website and just read the recipes. There are on record people who said ChatGPT was down, so I couldn't make my dinner last night. Are you joking? ChatGPT literally is just pulling from websites. Just go to one of the websites. It's not that hard, for crying out loud.
Everywhere.
I don't know if I'm spiking the mic there.
AI can be a useful part in making a good product, a good software experience. But you can't just ram it into everything. You see, we've got this
AI
trend
does
where
need to be
there
used
are
in
new
moderation.
services available on APIs, and we've got a lot of companies wanting to try and use those services. But the thing is, quite often, it's people who understand the AI trying to apply the AI to something that they do not understand.
For example, at my work, we are now creating an AI chat tree person, so that a thing comes in, it checks what's on the thing, it says what's missing, and then it tells the person, or it asks them a series of questions to fill in that information. I'm sitting here going, that's not a good use of AI. That's probably the stupidest AI we could do. If you really want an effective AI that's going to change our our business, you need to have it actually analyze information that is passed. Hey, we're missing these 3 pieces of information on this thing.
If you want an AI integration
AI is
to work
very
correctly,
good at looking
it
at
needs to be
broad
done by
data sets
somebody
and
who
finding
actually
trends that
understands
coincide in
the
a
scope
result.
of their job
That's what AI is
and can
really good
then
at.
Tastefully use the AI.
And it's really good at that specifically because it's able to analyze a whole bunch of data at the same time, whereas a human can only look at a single piece of data at a time, and you can get your big picture over time, but the computer can look at 3, 4, 5 pieces of data simultaneously with how fast it processes.
Thing to help their job. As an example, there have been some cool things
I like
regarding
tech.
video ingest and like tagging and stuff to improve the shitty bits of editor workflows. That's the sort of thing that's great, but a complete contrast to the other side of AI being used in video, which is just the infinite generation of weird slop videos, which I'm sure
Yeah, I'm
you have
tired
all
of slop
seen
videos.
far too much of. Now, if you take a look at YouTube Studio, you can see this. It's the inspiration tool. It's awful, guys. It is awful.
No.
It suggests ideas, titles, and thumbnails. I'm pretty good at making thumbnails and writing titles. YouTube's are bad. Really bad.
Nintendo's genius plan to beat the console war. Nintendo's next mistake could be their last. Why nobody can replicate No Man's Sky's redemption. Well, the reason why no one can replicate No Man's Sky's redemption is because No Man's Sky admitted they did something wrong. That was the first step that no one else will admit. And then they did what they could to repair what they did wrong.
They were clearly implemented
not
by
hard.
people who don't actually know what they're doing because they're probably not creators. They're probably not customer facing and customer first. For shorts, you can now generate backgrounds for any audio that you want. Same goes for AI prompts when you look at the comments. Yeah, YouTube doesn't even want us responding to you in our voice.
Yeah, I don't even
Seriously,
like that.
Whenever I scroll into comments in YouTube Studio, there's just all these little auto replies that it's generated. They're like, yeah, good idea. Now what the...
That might be because they don't want to. I actually need to check that. I need to check if it actually gives you a text box if you reply from the studio side. But yeah, it's one of those things that I don't know if they're just trying to skip having to even do comment checks or a comment box or what it is. But the more people mess with stuff, there's a huge tendency in software development to not leave shit alone. Like, at a certain point, you have to stop touching shit. You have to leave it alone.
That does is allow me to give you the appearance that I am interacting with you. And that's just really fucking unethical. But
It's
here's the
super
thing.
unethical.
As
I
of
am with
last
him
week,
on this.
All of this stuff just got messier. So,
If you see a comment from my channel, it's from me. Period. I'm not having someone else reply. I'm not having AI reply. I'm replying to anything on this channel.
just days after confirming they hadn't changed
If I
view count
heart
rules,
one of your comments,
YouTube
that's also me
unveiled
choosing
new
to heart your
systems
comment.
at their Made on YouTube event. And look, some of these are great. We can now test multiple thumbnails and titles properly. Now, we've been able to
Wait, what?
ABC test thumbnails for ages, but that's only so useful because, you know, a title and a thumbnail should be going together instead of one title and 3 thumbnails. So that's a really good tool. And there's some other useful stuff that, I mean, is cool, doesn't really work for us. Stuff like tagging multiple creators in videos, and there are live streaming changes that allow for live reactions, better ads, and better discoverability. And there are better moderation tools, where they will flag where your face is being recreated, basically to fight misinformation. So look at that!
Well, that would be
Good
nice.
use of AI
That part's
and
good.
ML stuff. But there is more. Google wants DeepMind to prove its value. And I almost feel bad for Demis in a way. It's as if, you know, dude gets passionate about the computer science, wants to solve some real hard problems. And what's it used for? What does the company take it and use it for? Oh, weird slop things. And this does kind of suck. Though I'll start with a slightly more innocuous one, where there's now a chatbot in YouTube Studio that's basically there to give creator support and analysis. I certainly wonder what would have happened whenever all the view counts were going down.
See, that's a part of the skill set of YouTubers. Like, we already have thousands of hours of YouTube videos uploaded in a minute. If you make it where people that are truly creating slop are breaking through in the same way as people who are working hard, looking at trends, looking at what's trending, either on X or YouTube and creating something in that space and following through on it, if you basically take that part out of it, you're gonna have 100,000 hours of stuff uploaded every minute. I don't actually know how many hours are uploaded in a minute. It's a ridiculous amount, but it's just gonna get worse. There's gonna be more and more and more.
And someone asked,
then
this
everyone's going to be
chatbot,
like the
I have a feeling
OnlyFans
that we
girls
won't have
that
a clue.
join
But
it,
you know
thinking
what?
they're
Some
going to
people
do
find
good,
pages
and
upon
then
pages
find
of
that they're
analytics a
nothing
little
compared
daunting.
to
So maybe this is
the
a relatively innocuous
goth girl
use
that's
of
been
the
on
tech.
for
But now
2
for the
years
bad
already.
stuff. There's a new feature where shorts can be entirely AI generated.
I would like to clarify before someone comes into the comments being like, there's no goth girl in the OnlyFans. I've looked. I haven't. I've literally never opened OnlyFans a single time. I almost did whenever I heard that, what's it, Donut Operator or Brandon Herrera, one of the two of them, created an OnlyFans where they cooked meat. Like, that's what their thing was. It was hilarious just as a premise, so I almost went to it just to see what that was. But I've literally never even put OnlyFans into my browser URL bar. So I don't know. I just picked out something that I know people are wild about. They're wild about goths. So
Fantastic. What if nothing was real? I'm sure users would love that. And when I say entirely generated, I mean that including moving images and songs. You can also edit your footage with AI, and on full videos, they're expanding their auto-dubbing with lip-syncing services. I don't think that will go well. I think it'll go straight to the uncanny valley, and don't put
yeah,
my
that's going to
face
be
in that
atrocious.
shit. But what's weirdest to me is this.
There's also something that's really, really traditionally hilarious about having a dubbed video and having the lips not sync at all. That's phenomenally fun to have sometimes.
Does YouTube really need more content? Like, do they need content so bad that they're
I'm ahead of the curve, guys!
happy for it to be basically just fake generated slop?
Exactly.
I mean, it almost seems like that.
You don't want fake content on the platform, and you don't want people that are only creating what the AI tells them to create on the platform. You want people that actually have passion for what they're doing, not just going, well, the computer said if I make this video, it'll do good.
To the point where now, I find it harder to find the videos that I actually want to watch, because whenever I refresh my homepage and browse about, I see so many slop videos and slop channels. Sometimes they're in my recommended box, even though they've got like 300 views and are clearly of no quality. Yet YouTube still puts them in my face and now is making tools to make even more slop. It's bizarre. And it's getting to the degree where YouTube themselves are looking utterly preposterous. They did a 6-minute recap, and the way that they were talking in a very stilted manner of, oh, I'm so excited. Oh, look, I could generate a corgi for my short.
Why would you need to?
Watch videos? I know Renee knows what it's like to create video. I just find the whole situation goddamn baffling, because it doesn't seem like anything that anyone with a brain would want to watch.
VO3.
And speaking of that, have you looked at Facebook and Twitter lately?
Okay, I'm gonna be
That anyone with a
I'm gonna
brain
be
would want
whatever.
to watch.
What on earth did this guy do getting dressed this morning? Turn the lights off? What are those pants? That is the least flattering outfit you could ever pick. Everything is super baggy. Everything is wild. Like, Junko jeans had better form than that.
And speaking of that,
Does he think he's going to try and hide an elephant to sneak it out of the zoo in those thighs? Good lord.
you looked at Facebook and Twitter lately, where both are inundated with crap that exists purely to just game the system and drive engagement scams.
Well, I think sadly a lot of these content platforms don't care about what is being shown. All they care about is that traffic go up. Because traffic go up mean they can sell to advertisers. Sell to advertisers mean they get money. They don't care whether it's AI quality or AI slop. They don't care if it's creator or manual creator quality or manual creator slop. All they care about is, does the number go up?
It's bad.
And
so
that's
I think
what
the creator reaction
sucks.
does make a lot of sense. Because from our perspective, they announced an AI age verification thing, then we had a significant view count drop. And that's all in the backdrop of real nervousness from creators where we just want to make videos and give them to you guys so you can watch them. We don't want fake auto-dubbing to happen. We don't want our videos to be...
I want to give people a little bit of content, a little bit of guidance as the old man, and then eventually I want to be able to do some gaming with some folks. I haven't had people that I could game with and like record, because if you're playing with the boys, you know that's not being recorded. You know that's not something for recording, because if you're playing with someone that isn't a creator, you don't want to put them on the spot about saying something. If you're just chilling and playing with the boys, the stuff that's being said is lighthearted, fun. You do racist jokes, you do gay jokes, you do all sorts of jokes. And none of it's meant in maliciousness. But you put that on the internet, someone's going to take it malicious.
Clogged out by a bunch
It's going to
of
be
weird
seen
AI
really
stuff.
badly.
It's taking up space on home screens. If you watch someone else because their video is more interesting to you than mine, I'm happy. But if you never find my video or their video because your home feed is getting inundated with slop, everyone loses, you included, apart from YouTube, but only in the short term. Because while they may be able to juice up some of their numbers by throwing all this shit at the wall to see what sticks, in the long term, user experience matters. And the more YouTube is a degraded experience,
He's 100% right.
full of slop, with low rates of trust, well,
At a certain point, people will
are gonna want
leave.
to go elsewhere. And certainly, YouTube, you've accelerated all of my plans of building our off-platform presence way more, because I don't trust you anymore. What does the future hold? Well, in July, YouTube recorded its 4th straight month.
I think I'm going to start uploading to Rumble as well. I would recommend everyone upload to both, because as someone who has done a couple videos over to Rumble, it's literally like the same fields that you do for your YouTube, you do over on Rumble. It uploads just as fast. It does everything. You take for me, uploading one of these videos takes about 2 to 3 minutes to do the upload process, selecting the file, uploading the thumbnail, adding the end card, adding the title and the description. It takes 2 to 3 minutes. We'll make it super generous or super ungenerous and make it 5 minutes for each. That's a total of 10 minutes to upload 2 videos to 2 different platforms. And the great part is, while one of them's actually doing the uploading, you can just go over to the other one and do the same exact thing. You can copy and paste and make it even faster. You know? You've got YouTube and Rumble both open up in 2 different tabs. You put in the title, Control-A, Control-C, switch over to Rumble, Control-V, go back, description area, type in your description, Control-A, Control-C, switch over to Rumble, Control-V. That's now a third or less of the time just to do the Control-V. It's nothing.
The biggest TV broadcaster in American homes, with 12.5% of all big screen viewing. I've certainly noticed the trend. I watch YouTube a lot on my TV, actually.
I almost
And the
never watch it on my
executives
TV.
behind
It's
that
always on my
success have a
phone or
hope.
my
And
computer.
that hope is that YouTube can replace the cable box. And what they learn from TV audiences
It's
will
not
feed
going to.
back into everything else. Because, as all of this ad block tomfoolery shows us, where can you get ads that can't be ad blocked? On mobile and TV. Now, in today's updates, almost all focus is on making streaming or shorts more approachable. The videos where most views were lost, well, they were traditional long-form bits of content. And I suppose we got an olive branch in YouTube's announcements, a thing with easily altered brand sponsorship slots that aren't baked in. And you know what, that could be a great feature for us, sure. But quite clearly the company's focus is elsewhere. And this is all coming after a summer of pressure, where YouTube wants creators to use...
See, that's the issue. YouTube keeps pushing out the stuff that has been working. Like, so whenever YouTube first started, there was a bunch of animation stuff put on it. 2 to 5 minute videos that were animation. 2 to 5 minute videos were super awesome. They had awesome animation or awesome 3D effects or awesome whatever. And then eventually they're like, let's make the rule that basically gets rid of this because we like longer form content. So in order to actually get in our algorithm, you have to do 10 minutes or more. Why don't you just calculate what kind of content that viewer watches. Do they watch 3-minute content? Do they watch 5-minute content? Do they watch 10-minute content? Do they watch 30-minute content, etc.? And then suggest stuff based on that. Why not just do that, YouTube? You have billions of dollars. Adding one more data point on time of video doesn't make a big difference.
Use generative AI to keep up. They want us to go to the inspiration tab and see what their fun little slop engine says we should make, even though it is mostly
I will never touch that.
awful
Just so everyone knows, I will never touch
they want to
that.
keep Google happy. Google's
Never.
pouring billions into DeepMind. And you know what? In many ways, do get that. I do understand why. There's things like AlphaFold. Look truly incredible. And I've certainly been able to find loads of AI use cases within my work. The thing is, none of it is facing you. Because when I see these tools, do you know what I do? I think, how can I use this to get rid of some of the shitty stuff that I don't like in my job so I can do the things that I like more and be more creative? And the funny thing is, just about every AI startup or big AI thing that I've seen be pitched to me is made by someone who doesn't understand my job, who is just trying to capitalize on AI now being a thing, and there being a bit of a bubble. That is the complete wrong way to go about it. You need to go to the people creating the value, and you need to see how they can use this new technology as a tool to do their job better and to hone their craft, not by replacing their craft, but by helping them get rid of the shitty trudgery. For a good example of machine learning and stuff, the World of Warcraft team uses some machine learning stuff to resize helms for different characters. That means that their artists don't have to waste loads of time doing boring, mundane work to make helms fit heads. That's a great use of this tech, and it couldn't be more the opposite of prompting some fresh new slop to upload to YouTube for someone to watch, I guess. This might be a bit controversial, but my hope is that the bubble bit bursts and we can just continue on with the thoughtful use of some of this technology in a way that is not just stupid bubble hype cycle bullshit. But I don't think I'm an optimist in this one, if I'm being honest. Let me know what you think. And especially, let me know what stuff has been forced on you in your job or in the things that you enjoy. I want to see examples of this done right, and I want to see examples of this done wrong.
So, final thoughts. Yeah, everything he said, yeah. I'm hoping that AI slop gets killed. I'm hoping that we have the change up of what's being done to be more of AI helping us get rid of the mundane parts or the parts that are just trudging through it, and instead get to the idea of, oh, yeah, we got rid of the slop stuff that's junk, and now we get to play with the creative side. We get to do the stuff that we want to do more. There's a reason I don't put a lot into my thumbnails. There's a reason I don't put a lot into those things. Because, one, I'm atrocious at art. You can look at my PNG tuber. That's the extent of my art ability. And I had to heavily rely on reference photos and this and that. So my point is, that is something that I'm not strong at. I like to talk. I'm a professional yapper. I want to be able to hire someone to give me a VTube model that's professional and rigged so that I can actually have my motions captured for y'all to see. But you got to be able to take the AI stuff out of YouTube. That is junk. That is leading to bad videos. Because you put bad videos in place, you're going to have viewership drop. You have viewership drop, content creators aren't going to want to use you. Plus, the people who want to invest in you for advertising aren't going to want to invest in you for advertising. You have to give quality content the spotlight that it needs. And so they've got to actually, like, I don't want shadow banning of anything, but I do want spotlighting of content that is manually made, that is content that a creator did, not an AI voice, not the split screen views, not the AI stories from Reddit that are completely fake. You need to have real, authentic, legitimate videos get spotlighted, give them a boost up in the rankings of the algorithms, and put those slop things down at the bottom. That is all I have to say on that. So, for that, I hope you guys have a nice one, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.